Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blazing bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will set again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind, head out to Show or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Good morning, everyone. A little late on the intro because on my end, I hear absolutely nothing. But all the little things are moving, so I'm assuming you can all hear me. Welcome to Gaarawarr's Guide, the tutorial show. On Saturdays, we do the thing where I talk for like an hour about a specific topic. And then if you have questions, I answer those. I try to. Today we have Trevor in the mod pod, so Trevor will be pulling questions from chat during the first hour and the second hour. So if you have a question that comes up while we're talking, go ahead and throw it in chat, and Trevor will grab it so that I can address it in the second half. Today's topic, an event started on Wednesday, so as we do, we're going to talk about the event and its champions. So this is Grand Revel, Year 5. Grand Revel up here at the top left. Boom. This one, unusually, starts in Chult. And this year we have Havilar, Humon, and Vi. Havilar, Humon, and Vi. We're going to be talking about all three of those. And there the captions finally kicked in. All the tech issues today, folks. All the tech issues today. My lights are not really on like they should be. I can't hear anything, and now only the captions just started working. So yes, welcome to Gaarawarr's Guide to Grand Revel Year 5. We're going to talk about all the champions that come with this event. We're going to talk about events in general. So a little bit of a recap for those of you who are experienced with the game. But we do have new people. We do have new people that joined this week. I saw lots of people going, I just started 2 days ago, so welcome to all of you, and hopefully we'll be able to answer your questions. We'll be able to answer your questions, and by we I mean me, myself, and I, the three of us. So with events, like normally you're out doing regular campaigns. And regular campaigns, like all of these, are around all the time. You can do them anytime you want. However, every 3 weeks-ish, something will pop up here at the top above a Grand Tour of the Sword Coast. and that is an event. Events are time limited. You get to do them for like 12 days? 12 days? Roughly. Math on stream is not my strong suit. They start on a Wednesday, they end on a Monday. Monday at noon Pacific. So this specific event started on the 2nd, and it will end on Monday the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, the event's over. Yeah, so in between now and then, you can go in and you can hop in and you can do adventures, you can do variants, you can do free plays, and all of these things, well, the first things unlock champions for you. The rest of them unlock chests, champion-specific chests, and that's how you get gear for your, that's one of the ways you get gear for your champions. However, unlike regular adventures, all of these things have a cost here. Like, it says a certain number of fire mints. Fire mints are the event tokens. Every event, there's a token given a name. It's tracked up here in the UI. So this is my event favor, and these are my fire mints that I have available for the event. And I spend these as a currency to start things. So you are a little limited in how often you can do this stuff, but that's actually a good thing for newer players, especially because there's a lot going on, and you want to be able to you know, not just only do the event while it's going on. You want to be able to kind of finish things and then move on and do something else. It keeps you from basically just only doing the event the entire time. Fire mints and event tokens in general are earned at a fixed rate. You get one every 25 seconds. It doesn't matter how many parties you're running. It doesn't matter if you're doing speed potions. It doesn't matter if you're online or offline. All that matters is that you're in an adventure and you're killing things. Because they drop off enemies. So right now, this number won't go up. But once I hop into adventure and I start killing things, it's going to go up. So what happens if you're just not in an adventure for a while? Well, the game keeps track of how many you're supposed to be earning, and then once you start killing things, it starts catching you up. So don't worry about that. You're going to earn a fixed amount between the start of a campaign and the end of a campaign. There's no way to speed that up. There's no way, you know, again, by potions or parties or whatever, to change that. The only way to earn extra fire mints is to use an item called a bounty contract. These can be found in your inventory. They're usually found out of gold chests for the most part. Electrums will drop them as well, but the tiny ones. And because they drop currency based off time, and event tokens are based off time, they will give you a fixed amount of event tokens as well. So when you see people who have you know, talking about how many like hundreds of thousands of event tokens and tons of chests, they use lots of bounty contracts to get that. So what do you do with these? Well, when you first start off, there's 3 of these, and they'll say adventure. They won't say free play. And under rewards, they'll show the champion. So this would have been a picture of Havilar. This would have been a picture of Human. This would have been a picture of Vi, but I did them already. And when you do those, there aren't any restrictions. It'll say no restrictions. It'll say just complete area 50. It makes them really straightforward and easy to do. And they're great places to get some favor. Favor is your friend in events, not just in campaigns, in events. Events are basically like condensed versions of campaigns. They're actually easier to complete than campaigns. You earn favor faster. You can usually push further because the enemies have a little less health. So they're kind of encouraging you and showing you, like, here's how to progress in a campaign. Here's what you do. And early on in your Idle Champion's career, getting more favor means you're going to be able to do better. That changes later, but that's a whole other conversation. So early on, you want to run each of the base adventures as kind of as a free play for favor. You're basically just going to run it, and you're going to push as far as you can. And then you're going to complete. You're not just going to complete after Area 50 when you're unlocking the champions for the first time. Each specific champion has a different layout for their formation. So if you'll notice, this one's, you know, a little pointy and then a little tail, right? But this offers lots of adjacencies around champions. It tends to be a pretty good formation for pushing. Human's way different. Way different. It's kind of got, they leave things out. They've got some, there's some adjacencies over here, but you've got this weird tank over here by itself, and this one probably not the greatest for pushing. Veteran adventurers with lots of champions might be able to make this layout work, but in general, not the greatest place to push super deep. Vise formation, again, a little pointy, lots and lots of adjacencies. This is another good formation layout for pushing deep and getting lots of favor. So keep that in mind. Don't make it overly hard on yourself trying to push humans for super deep for lots of favor. Go for Vi or Havilar. Go for Vi or Havilar. Once you complete the initial adventures, these will then show as free play. That means you can do it as many times as you want, and the reward becomes a mystery chest. So basically, you will earn a random chest for that champion. You'll notice the art is different for each of them. It's because they are specific for those champions, and it will either be a silver or a gold chest for that champion. There's a 1 in 3 chance you'll get a gold, so most of the chests you're going to get, statistically speaking, will be silvers. But there's a 1 in 3 chance it could be gold. And on top of that, if for some reason after 3 runs you don't get a gold, the 4th one guarantees you one. So you are guaranteed, if I'm doing 4 Havilar free plays, I'm guaranteed at least 1 gold chest. The cost of free plays, you'll see here, starts off at 500. Every time you do one, it goes up by 500, but it caps at 2,500. I've done a lot of the missing merchant Vi, but the cost is going to stay at 2,500. So that means 4 runs cost 10,000 tokens, and in 4 runs you're guaranteed a gold chest and 3 silver chests at minimum. At best, 4 gold chests. I bring this up because in the shop, the game will try to sell you a gold chest for this champion for 10,000 tokens. Don't do it. Please. Just go run your free plays. Just go run your free plays. You just have to complete Area 50, and then you can reset. You do that 4 times. You've spent 10,000 tokens, and you have better chances at gear. Better chances at gear. So why is that? Why is that in the shop? That's in the shop because if it becomes Monday the 14th, and it's like an hour before the event ends, and you have tons and tons of event tokens because you were busy over the weekend, and you don't have time to run those free plays, you can then just spend them on chests, and they're not completely wasted. Not completely wasted. So keep that in mind. Usually you want to be spending your tokens on free plays and not spending them in the store on chests. So along with these free plays, what you get afterwards is variants. Variants in this game are harder versions of the adventures that you originally completed. In terms of the missing merchants, there's always going to be 3. Certain things are going to always be the same. The first one always has a completion area of 75, the second one 25, and the third one 75. The cost for each one always goes up. For the older ones, these are the previous year's champions. These are the previous 2 years' champions. So there's only ever going to be 3 champions available in an event. These are going to be cheaper than the newest one. This is because basically they discount the old ones. This is the price that we used to see. Like in year 1, the very first year, everything was this price, right? But then they discounted the previous year. So for the newest champion, it's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you more. Approximately 4 times as much. Right? So keep in mind budgeting. One of these is going to cost you 5,000 fire mints, right? But the reward for these variants, for each and every one of these variants, is a gold chest. So you're getting a guaranteed gold chest as long as you can complete it. That's the challenge. As long as you complete it. Each of these variants, again, like I said earlier, is harder to complete than the base adventure because they give you restrictions. Restrictions are various things. It can be rules. It can be like if we look down here, they've actually put things in the formation, so you're down champions, or it can be combinations of these. This makes it harder for you to actually complete it. And there's usually difficulty ratings. As you can see, these all show easy at the moment. But these difficulty ratings are based off the amount of favor that you have, which is another reason why you probably want to earn some favor for these. If they show that they're challenging or deadly or even fair, you can make them easier for you by getting more favor. And that's generally the best thing to do. Generally, what you want to do is you don't want to try to complete variants until they show as difficulty easy like this. That's because they cost you fire elements. So if you go into a variant and you think you can do it, but it doesn't show easy, and then you run into a wall and you can't even get to 75. You're most likely, no matter how long you sit in there, you're not going to earn enough gold to be able to complete it. You just have to fail it by clicking the complete thing and going out without meeting the requirements, and then go get more favor and try again. Don't do that. Just do free plays. Do free plays first. Earn favor. Once they're green, go do them. The rough amounts here off the top of my head, I want to say this one. Oh, is it EO4? I know we can do it backwards. The hard one is EO8, in the EO8 range. This is scientific notation. So press Y on your keyboards or go into the settings and choose scientific notation. This is an easier way to compare numbers for everyone. But it should be, I'm going over to one of my guides on the subreddit to double check. It should be EO8 neighborhood. I want to say the 125. Hold on, I'm just going to look to make sure. 125 should be like EO5, EO6. I have a chart for this in my event guides. I put up event guides for every event. Aha. 1.5 EO8 for this one, for the third one that says Area 175. Roughly. It can sometimes events it's going to change a little slightly. For the Area 125, it's 1.5 EO7. And for the Area 75, it's just 2 EO4. That's 20,000 if you're doing regular numbers. That's 15 million, and that's 150 million. If we want to do it that way. If you want to do it that way. Generally, if there is a hard that's just to make it go easy, to show as easy. That doesn't mean it is easy. Think of this like that sign outside of an amusement park, like in front of the rides that say you must be this tall to ride this ride. Doesn't mean you're going to enjoy the ride. It just means you're now tall enough to ride it safely. So keep in mind that this is just a rough measuring stick. You still need to read your restriction and see if maybe you're going to need some more favor on top of that to make it easier. Which is a good time to talk about this, because this first one, odd one's out for Havilar. The restriction says only every second bench slot can be used. The odd ones are right out. So that means you don't get to use slot 1. So, you're starting with slot 2 if you're a brand new player. That means Celeste is your first champion, and then you don't get anything in slot 3, and then you go to slot 4, which is, Jarlaxle. But here's the thing, when you hop in and you go to do it, if you don't have a lot of favor, you're going to have to click to kill things until you have enough favor to buy Celeste, because you can't get Brunor. And then you'll put Celeste out, and then it'll show slot 3, but it won't show slot 4 until you have enough gold to be able to put 1 level in Jarlaxle, and then slot 4 will appear. So you'll be killing and farming gold with just Celeste and your clicker for a little while, unless you get a bunch of favor first. So in this situation, because you only have half your champions available to you, you'll never be able to build a full formation, which means you're going to need extra favor to overpower the enemies, as it were, to kind of over-level your champions compared to what you might normally do. So it may be in your best interest, even if this shows as easy, to wait until Diamonds Are Forever shows as easy. Then you'll have a lot more favor. You'll be able to more easily cruise through this one and not waste your firements. So keep that in mind. You do have to read this. You have to understand what the restriction is doing to you, and plan accordingly. I put some tips for each of these. Sometimes they might be a couple years old because this Havilar's event was 2 years ago. But if you have questions, you can always ask in the newest event guide or in the Discord. Diamonds Are Forever. Diamond golems attack the formation at random. They cannot be damaged and must be tanked until the area is beaten. This is what I like to kind of call an Overwhelm type variant, where basically the restriction is trying to overwhelm your tank. It's trying to put tons of damage on your tank, and thus ruin your formation in some way. In this way, it's by creating unkillable enemies. So again, maybe a little extra favor is going to help. You just want to make sure that your Nayeli is in her tanking spec. That's the right-hand spec, not the left. That's the devotion and not vengeance. So she has some extra health, and she can handle getting beat on by these unkillable things until you kill everything else off on that level. Nightmare scenario. Havilar starts in the formation and cannot be swapped, moved, or removed from the formation. This type of variant is it's time to learn the champion variant. So there's usually one of these, especially in the newer, more recent champions. There's always at least one. Sometimes there's multiple, so that you can learn how best, how they want you to use this champion. Doesn't always mean that's the best way to use them, but they're trying to teach you the champion, at least the basics. So in this situation, half of the enemies that spawn in non-boss areas are replaced with random demons that have more health and move more quickly than normal monsters. So again, a bit of an Overwhelm scenario. The reason it's demons, it has to do with Havilar. Havilar has this thing with demons. She just fiends specifically, but or demons specifically, but that's fiends in this game. It kind of changes how she functions, and we'll talk about that. But everything about her kind of adjusts when there are fiends on a level. So this is again an Overwhelm though, because they're giving them more health and they're making them move fast. So they're going to run straight up to the formation and start beating on that tank, and they're going to be a little harder to kill. So maybe going over EO8, maybe getting EO9, maybe that's a good idea. For favor, it's just basically adjust your favor goal based off how difficult the restriction is going to be. So for Human's variants, we have kobolds in trench coats. As you can see, we're going to be missing a couple champion slots. Now, whenever you're missing a champion slot completely, that's what these X's mean. They're putting something in there, so you can't use them. Whenever they do this, you're gonna need more favor. General rule of thumb, another EO1, so another 0 on the end of whatever your favor total is. If you were going to get 20,000, and then now you need 200,000 for each slot you're missing. And that's at least that, depending on the rest of the restriction. So Human starts in the front row of the formation. They can't be moved or removed, so it's time to learn how to use Human. Two of Human's human friends have also joined the formation to see them in action. Quest requirements are doubled in non-boss areas. So what they're trying to do, and then they go in, and then they tell you, they missed a period here, getting to know Zrang. So they're trying to explain to you how Human works. They're explaining how some of the abilities works. Because this is basically trying to show you that when Human is in the front, Human does specific things. That's what they're teaching you with this. More dead than Human. I mean, I feel like they were going for some more Human than Human. That would have been more dead than Human? Sure. Human starts in one of the middle rows of the formation. Slot 5. They're going to change this soon, folks. If you've ever gone slot 5, what's that? They're going to be like there was an X here. They're going to change this so that it will show the character where they're going. But here's how this works, if you care to count. They're programmers, so they start with 0, and it starts at the front, and it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 means it's going right up here in this spot. But soon we'll have an icon there, so we don't have to do this programmer math. They can't be moved or removed, and that's because Human does different things when he's in the middle. Human does different things when he's in the middle. When they are in the middle. There are 3 kobolds in a trench coat. We're going to get to this. Human, not actually a Human. There are 3 kobolds in a trench coat. There's 2 males and 1 female. But when they are pretending to be a Human or a dwarf or whatever they're pretending to be, their pronoun is they. So let's see. Undead monsters spawn and attack your formation. When they are killed, they don't disappear. Instead, after 5 seconds, they get back up and resume their relentless attack. Yay. Yay. So this is a swarm. This is a swarm variant, like an Overwhelm swarm variant. I will say, if you have Zorbu, another Timegate champion, used to be in an event, he specifically hates undead, and this is a good place to farm up Zorbu, because just sit on a level and kill the undead enemies every 5 seconds. They'll all die, and then they'll all get up, and then he'll shoot them again, and then they'll all die, and then they'll all get up, and then he'll shoot them again, and then they'll all die, and you do that for like a day or 2, and you're good. But in general, you might want a little more favor for this, just because those things don't actually die. Hit him fast, hit him hard. Human starts in the back row of the formation. Again, they're trying to teach you that Human does different things in different places. Armored abyssal chickens spawn in each area. Oh no. These chickens drop no gold, nor do they count towards quest progress. So this is another Overwhelm swarm style variant. Every 10 areas, an additional armored abyssal chicken spawns and attacks. So they keep adding more and more and more. So because they're armored, that means it's going to take multiple hits to kill them. So this is a variant where it's good to have a multi-attack champion. So someone like Ashara or Hitch, who fire off multiple attacks with every basic attack turn that they take. And that can remove multiple chunks from enemies. So keep that in mind. Again, probably a good idea to have a little more favor. If it sounds like I'm being repetitive, it's because in general, if a variant is challenging, it's probably a good idea to have a little bit more favor. Now with Vi, the newest champion, we have 3 new variants. Vi starts at the formation. She can be moved to other slots, but she can't be removed from the formation. So a little more flexibility in what you can do with her. Vi's Arcane Cannon Ultimate starts out unlocked. All champions' base attack cooldown speeds are increased by 8 seconds. What we can tell by this restriction already is that what they want you to do is learn to kill things with Vi's Ultimate. If you activate Vi's second use of our Arcane Cannon Ultimate in the last 5 seconds of the Ultimate's duration, its cooldown is immediately reset. See, they're basically going, just spam the Ultimate. Just spam the Ultimate. So outside of that, I mean, you're probably fine once this shows as green, because there's no other restriction. You just got to spam it. It's an active play variant. You need to actively be spamming that Ultimate. Time for a good hug. Again, Vi starts in the formation, but this time she can't be moved or removed. You can only use neutral on the good-evil axis, and evil champions that have the DPS role, and you can only use good champions that have the support role. This sounds like a lot of restrictions, but actually this is a really long list of champions if you have a lot of ones, and I list them all off in my guide. So basically you're just going to be slightly restricted on who you can use. It may be worse for newer players. Again, if you end up not being able to field enough enemies, or not enough champions, you're going to need more favor. You can figure this out. You don't have to jump into the variant and then go, wow, I've wasted 2,500 fire minutes. Just hop in a free play and then start looking at these restrictions and see who you're able to push with. And then try it with that group, and if you pass 125, great, then you'll be able to do it. Then switch, and if you don't, that's fine. Switch over to a full formation, because you're in a free play and there's no restrictions, and then farm it for more favor, and then try again. Testing things out in free plays when they're like this, where it's just a straight up restriction on who you can use. Great thing to do. Great thing to do, because even if you can't meet the level requirement, you can always switch over to a full formation and farm some favor so that you can. Double our efforts. So again, we're losing 2 slots right away. We see the big red X's. 2 explorers join the formation. They deal no damage and can't be moved. NPCs can never be moved, and they never do damage. Well, I won't say never, but yeah, they don't. You can't move them. Sometimes they move themselves. Good champions deal no damage with their base attacks. So this is telling you you're going to need either a neutral or evil DPS for this. Neutral or evil. And guess what? Ashara. Ashara works. So does Jarlaxle. So, wherever you're at, you're fine. All non-boss area quest requirements are doubled. Twice as many monsters spawn with each wave, and monsters drop half the amount of gold. This all makes up for itself. It sounds bad, but basically you're going to spend roughly the same amount of time on a level, because even though the requirements are doubled, they're spawning twice as many monsters, and even though you're earning half gold, well, you're killing twice as many things. So it all evens out. The issue is just that you're being swarmed a bit. You're being swarmed a bit. So having multi-attack champions or AoE champions takes care of this real quick. Real quick. Those are all the Vi's, all of the variant explanations. Let us hop into an actual adventure. So we will go back. We'll click on the map here. Again, we're in Chult. I'm going to hop into a Vi free play. Because Vi is the only champion I really need gear on, because I've been around a while. I did all the previous things. Oops, I started with Makor on, and it did all the things. All right, let us take all of these wonderful champions. Oh, Vi can stay. All of these wonderful champions out. I over leveled everything. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. So we have over here slot 10 Havilar. This is Havilar. Let me throw her in her regular outfit. She has a lot of outfits, folks. She has a lot of outfits. Don't judge her. There's nothing wrong with that. And Human. Let's kill off some of these. And let us actually... I mean, this guy's looking super cute out here. But let's go throw in the newest familiar. Because he's adorable. They're adorable. Alright. So these are our 3 champions. Let me actually... switch Human. Human's not a dwarf. Oh, wrong button. Human has a bunch of different versions of him as well, or them as well. There we go. Now everybody's in their base form. I think, unfortunately, I leveled past the spec choice for Vi and Human, but we can fix that. All right, so we're going to start with Havilar. Havilar is one of the Brimstone Angels. What does that mean? That means her and her sister, Havilar, her twin sister Havilar, are from the novel series Brimstone Angels by Aaron M. Evans. Aaron M. Evans is now a codename employee, but wasn't when all of these were added. So Farida and Havilar are in the game, as well as their father Mehen, as well as their adopted father Mehen. And yes, it is Farida, like fajita. That is the pronunciation. So think fajita, Farida. Farida, Havilar, and Mehen, or Havi. Havilar is a tiefling fighter. She rocks that glaive. Base attack is glaive thrust. Havilar cleaves the closest enemy with her glaive, hitting all nearby enemies. So it is a mini AoE. Her ultimate unlocks right away, and it's summon imps. So Farida has these imp friends as part of being, spoiler alert, one of the chosen of Asmodeus, or Asmodeus, however you like to pronounce it. So Mott and another imp are summoned. The imps attack with the fire of Asmodeus. Mott is one of the imps. The others are Dembo, Bosch, and Mala, I believe. We'll find out here in a moment. Because we're going to summon them. This is how her ultimate works. Dembo, Ala, and Bosch. There we go. And they summon in that order. Dembo's always going to be first. Ala's always going to be second. Bosch is always going to be third. And when they fire off... well, we'll give them this. Let me hit it. It's not like a regular ultimate because it's going to... Come on. Can we? Please. There we go. It's going to summon them and then it's going to come back real quick. Well, why does it do that? Because now, once you've summoned the imps, it changes to heroic sacrifice. So the imp that isn't Mott flings itself at the nearest enemy and explodes, dealing massive damage in a large area and slowing all affected enemies. This slow is a big deal. We'll come back to it. As soon as the ultimate is used, Havilar's ultimate attack reverts to summon imps with a short cooldown. Now what happens, I'm gonna take this core out because that's just making us go even faster than we need to be right now. So I'm gonna turn this off. Here's what happens. You will see the top imp is Dembo. Oh, Mott, excuse me. Mott. The bottom imp is Dembo. Dembo is going to fling himself over here and explode. There we go. Boom. They hang around for a little bit. Mott hangs around and then disappears. And then the cooldown's back and then you summon them again. But now there's a different one, you notice. This is the blue one. Right? And then they're going to be able to fling themselves across and explode. And then they go away again, and then we get our cooldown back. I'm going to do this a couple times, folks, so we can get them cycled back to the original. And now the third one, right? So Mott is always going to be out, and then it's Dembo, Ala, and Bosch. This is Bosch. And then we go back, and we've restarted all over again. So what's the point of all this? Well, again, every time you fire that ultimate off, it's a pretty quick ultimate. To run with. It does an AoE damage, and it slows everything that it hits. That slow stacks with itself. So there are shenanigans to be had. You can get to a boss level, and you can get down to one enemy, and you can knock that enemy back, and then you can slow it. You can hit it with this slow over and over and over and over again, cycling through that ultimate like I did. And eventually it will just freeze in place. And then you don't even need a tank out on the screen. Why would you want to do that? There's reasons. But this is one of the things that Havilar can do. Havilar's abilities function based off, in part, two of the abilities function in part based off which pair of imps are out. So we're going to keep that in mind. And the base part is Leadership Summit. Havilar increases the damage of all champions in the two columns behind her. This ability is augmented by whichever imps are currently assisting her. So if we come over here to outgoing effects, we can see which imps are assisting her and what effects are going on. I'm not going to cycle through all of these. Instead, I've got a guide for that. I'm going to go look at the guide and I'm going to read off the multiple effects. So, for Leadership Summit, Mott's always going to be out. So that means you're always going to increase the effect of Leadership Summit by 400% on Tiefling champions. Why just on Tiefling champions? Because she's a buffer for her sister, the other Tiefling, who's a DPS champion. So as far as Dembo, Ala, and Bosch are concerned, though, with Dembo out, it increases Leadership Summit by just a flat 200% for everyone. If all is out, it increases Leadership Summit by 50% for each enemy Havilar is tanking. So that is a ramping bonus. Again, that's fantastic if you're on a level and you're taking 20, 30, 40 enemies. You might want to have all out. Bosch increases the effect of Leadership Summit by 400% if there are enemy or boss enrage stacks active. So with Bosch, you are looking at, that's basically the boss killer effect. Now, There is another ability that's going to... Oh, well, we'll get to that. There's another ability that's going to be based off the imps, and we'll talk about that in a second. But they've added a new ability called Sister Sister. It's a more recent ability. This increases the effect of Havilar's Leadership Summit by 200% when Farida's in the formation, which basically means you're getting another, basically a triple damage bonus for Farida, because you would be using Farida as DPS. Infernal Fortitude is Havilar's health share. This is an ability all tanks have. They have the ability to share their health because they're the only ones that get health upgrades. Regular champions don't get health upgrades. So if you want the rest of your formation to be a little more survivable when there's like AoE damage going on, you need tanks and their health share. So this is 25% bonus based off Havilar's health. Fiendish Resolve is the other ability that functions differently based off imps. When any fiend is in the area, Havilar focuses less on her own attacks and more on buffing the party. What does that mean? It means her buffs go up and her base attack changes and becomes longer. So her base attack cooldown is doubled, but the effective leadership summit is increased by 100%. By 100%. Now, if we go over here and we come down, we'll see that Fiendish Resolve is also modified by the imps. So how is it modified by the imps? Mott makes it increase leadership summit by 25% per fiend enemy on screen. So again, Havilar is kind of does most of her stuff the best when fiends are around. So she will buff more if fiends are around. She will also give you a speed effect if fiends are around. And that's with Dembo out. That's the second one. So fiends have a 50% chance of dropping 2 quest items or counting for 2 kills when killed. This is what makes Havilar a speed champion. So she has this speed roll up here. Tanking, support, speed. But it is only speed when a fiend is on the screen. So that means a place like Mad Wizard, where a lot of people gem farm early, quickly. She has a speed effect there. Also, when you're in Avernus, just gonna tell you, when you go to Hell, there's lots of fiends. She has speed effects there. When all is out... Oh, no, Dembo's the first one. When all is out, that's the second one. Fiends take 100% additional damage from ultimate attacks. When Bosch is out, you have the damage Havilar takes from all attacks and triple the damage of Heroic Sacrifice. Heroic Sacrifice is her ultimate. So Bosch is, again, a bit more of a tanky nature from Fiendish Resolve. It gives that tank a kind of, beefy tanky effect to Havilar. Back over here. Scroll down. Battlemaster. Each time Havilar attacks, she increases the damage of all champions by 1% for each enemy that she hit. So this isn't that much when you're killing things quickly, but when you're starting to stack up lots of enemies on that front tank line, and they're all in a pile, and Havilar, every time Havilar hits, she does an AoE, so she can stack this up pretty well. It does max at 20 stacks. Effect lasts for half of Glaive Thrust base cooldown. So you do have a short period where she's going to AoE everyone, give you a boost for damage, and that can potentially let you clear that wave. She has 2 specializations. One of them is Speedy Sacrifice. It basically reduces the cooldown so you can spam her ultimate faster, if that's your thing. Mastery of Battle tends to be the general usage for pushing. It's just basically Battle Master doubled. But this is if you're going to do, shenanigans with her ultimate. It just gets her ultimate back faster. Gets her ultimate back faster for you. Let me make sure. I think that's everything. Yes. Item-wise, Zunarella the Devourer. Damage all champions items. And Devil Slayer. The fanciest dress is her health item. So slot 3 is health. Which, that's tanks need a health item, right? Leadership Summit and Battle Master are their 2 ability buff focuses, and then she gets a ultimate attack damage, because she doesn't need ultimate attack, ultimate cooldown reduction, because it's already a short cooldown. So she just gets the damage. Feat-wise, because she's a support champion, you're going to get damage all champions items. Because she's a tank champion, you're going to get health items. And then you're going to get into some more specifics. So she's got a leadership bonus, a couple of leadership bonus ones available. She's got some stat-based stuff to modify things. I want to say these qualify her for some patron stuff. And then Defensive Duelist, this is another tanking item. It's going to raise her Overwhelm. If you want more information about like how tanks function, what Overwhelm is, etc., there's a video guide up on the YouTubes, the CNE YouTubes, that's Gaarawarr's Guide to Tanking Revisited. Or it better be there. Better be there. So you can go check that out. You can check that out. We just did that recently. So that's Havilar. Let's throw her all the way up in the front. Here. Now let's talk about this lovely human, clearly human in a trench coat. Clearly a human in a trench coat. So, Human. Human is I hate to spoil it for you folks. Human is actually 3 kobolds in a trench coat. Human is actually 3 kobolds in a trench coat. But they count as both a kobold, 1 kobold, singular kobold. They don't get triple credit, folks. That would break the game. They count as a singular kobold, but they also count as a human. Even when they're in their dwarf skin. And their treant skin. Yeah. But still, they count as a single human. There's 2 males and a female, but the pronouns are they when they're in the human form, which they always are. So, deal with it. Rogue Bard class, support speed, and the speed is, folks, Human, one of the 2 best, like top tier, S tier speed champions in the game. The very best around. Nothing's going to ever keep them. No, we're not going 80 songs. All right. Base attack cooldown. The middle kobold, crossbow bolt. The middle kobold shoots a random enemy with a small crossbow. They just say the middle kobold because the thing about Human, if you'll notice, we kind of have the purplish one on top, the red one in the middle, and the yellow one on the bottom. Well, watch these shenanigans. They didn't change. Do they not visually? Why did I think they visually shuffled? Anyway, technically they shuffle around. When you're in the front, Zrang is on top. When they're in the middle, Cleave is supposed to be on top. Mine's just probably... Now it's not even showing that as active. My game. And when they're in the back, Yas is on top. I think I broke them. And now we got... Now the yellow one's on top. See? Out here, but not up here. So yellow on top here, red on top here, purple on top here. Okay, it's just not showing up here. That makes me sad. I just got a bug going on. It's probably from the skin. So yes, they move around. They switch places based on where they are. So the middle kobold could change. And the thing is based off where they're placed in the formation, not only does it change who's on top, but it's going to change what their abilities do, what 2 of their abilities do, and it's going to change what their ultimate does. So, let's talk about teamwork. Depending on where they're placed in the formation, different kobold takes the top slot in the trench coat and provides a different buff. Zrang. So it says front 2 columns, but I want to point out the number here, like whether it says front column or front 2 columns, is going to change based off the layout of the formation. This is a 5-column formation, so it makes front the 2 columns, it makes back 2 columns, and middle is this one singular column in the middle. If it was a 4-column formation, the front would be 1, the middle would be 2, and the back would be 1. If it was a 6-column formation, each would be 2. If it was a 3-column formation, each would be 1. Am I making sense? If you're ever wondering what it is, you can come here and it will tell you if it's just a front column or if it's front 2. Okay. So when you're in the front, that's the speed effect. Enemies have a 50% chance to drop double quest items or count for double quest progress. This gets modified by another ability, and that ability has an item, which means this can go up, 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 and you can get lots and lots of credit for kills. That's the speed effect, and that's what makes them really super strong. So we move him into the middle. Cleave is on top, and it increases the damage of champions against boss enemies by a large amount. And, so this is the boss killer. You put him in the middle to kill bosses. If the boss has hit-based or armor-based health, so that segmented health that we see, if it's hit-based or armor-based, successful attacks against the boss destroy twice as many segments as they normally do. So Human can help you chew through those armored and segmented health bosses faster when they're in the middle. And when they're in the back, this is just a straight-up bonus. So increase the damage of champions in the 2 columns in front of them by 200%. So just a bonus against everything. But middle is bonus against bosses, back is a bonus against everything, and the front is speed. Front is speed. Hello, fellow humans. This increases the effect of Klebe and Yas's teamwork ability. So this is the boss killing bonus and the general killing bonus, not the speed bonus. Based on the number of other human champions in the formation. Other human champions. So it doesn't count Human at all in this. And it doesn't change Human's... we're going to get to a thing. And one of the specializations is going to change this. But Human is always going to be a kobold and a human. So this is going to count other humans. And based on the number of them, it's a different bonus. You don't build around this, folks. This is just a nice little extra bonus that you get. But teamwork is usually what you're building around, just so you know. Carefully balanced, this is the ability that buffs the speed effect. So this increases the effect of Zring's teamwork ability by 1% for each champion adjacent to the kobolds. So if you can put them in a speed place, and like here is... This is the, like, this would put them adjacent to 2, right? 2. Why am I doing this like it's Sesame Street? 2. Whereas if I move them back here, I'm still considered in the front, but now there's 4 adjacencies, right? So this would be the place to put them for maximum speed. This would be the place to put them for maximum speed. And that ability and its item then would buff and make you even faster. That's where I was going. That's where I was going. Okay. This is the ultimate. Please stand by is the other one based off their positioning. The other one based on their positioning. So the kobolds that are not on top provide lesser buffs passively because everybody contributes. Everybody contributes. These abilities are not buffed by Hello Fellow Human. So if Zrang is not on top, so this means you're not in the front, then boss enemies move slower. Okay? If Klebe is not on top, hit-based enemies have a 50% chance of spawning with 25% of their hits already gone. If Yas is not on top, you reduce the base attack cooldown of champions adjacent to the kobolds by 0.5 seconds. This one's a pretty big deal. Because this is a positional formation ability, because it says champions adjacent to the kobolds. There are champions in this game that like positional formation abilities and multiply positional formation abilities when they receive them. So you can actually, this is one of the few abilities in the game that speeds up attack speed for champions. And those specific champions, like Artemis and Archon, can then attack really fast. Really fast. Now, that doesn't necessarily... it gives them wave clear, folks. It doesn't make them do more damage, but it gives them lots of wave clear that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise. Oh, no, there's the ultimate. Impressive coat work is just doubles teamwork abilities. No. That's the specialization choice. Hold on. This is what is... I got thrown off because I forgot I didn't have to choose... let me go over and reset his specializations. But let's talk about specializations. Impressive coat work doubles teamwork. This is what you're doing if you want to go faster. This doubles the speed effect, basically. This doubles the speed effect. Did we see a humans? We meant this one allows that Hello Fellow Humans ability to work when you don't have humans in your formation. So say you're in a dream scenario. Say it's Human and 9 dwarves. If you select this, then Hello Fellow Humans becomes effectively Hello Fellow Dwarves, and you buff those abilities based off the number of dwarves in the party, right? So this is a pushing buff if you're not mostly humans, or if humans aren't the most populous race in your formation. And this is a speed buff, but also the buff you want if humans are the most popular one. Okay. And away we go. And away we go. Now, let's talk about the ultimates. Let's talk about the ultimates. So, in the front, if we look at rollout is always the name. This first part is what they always do. The kobolds pepper a random enemy with bolts. That's always going to be what they do. The second part, the and, after the and, is what's going to change. So, if they're in the front, if they're in the speed one, Zrang's teamwork is doubled for 30 seconds. So, they go even faster for 30 seconds. If they're in the middle, non-boss enemies are stunned and no additional enemies spawn for 15 seconds. So watch. Non-boss enemies are like these caterpillars, right? But boom, I use the ultimate and guess what? Nothing's spawning for 15 seconds. If we go all the way in the back, rollout was the front one. My bad. Stop is the middle one, and faster is the back. This reduces any active ultimate cooldowns of all champions in the formation by 25%. So if I hit this one with its 293.62 second cooldown, and then I hit the ultimate, the cooldown would reduce automatically by 25%. By 25%. That's Human. That's Human. Because they're a sport champion, they get damage all champions items. Then they increase their hello fellow humans, and they're carefully balanced. Again, this is the holy grail item. This is the one everybody wants an epic on because this is the speed item. Then ultimate attack damage and ultimate cooldown reduction. This is the second item you want an epic on for human. So really, if you're looking to farm gear, once you get an epic here and here, you're good for speed, because speed is really what we use human for. Because remember, the ultimate can make them go faster. So yeah, these are the good ones. If we come over here into feats, they've got 6 of them. No, sorry, three kobolds in it. Okay. Damage all champions items. Then we've got hello fellow humans buffs, but then we have carefully balanced feats, which means more speed, folks. More speed. These two are great, so you can just go all speed. They get an int feat. This qualifies them for Strahd. And there's a third hello fellow humans, but I don't have that one. All right, we're on to Vi. We're going to wrap this up with Vi. Vi's on a smoke break. Dang it, Vi. Vi is a gnome artificer, 500 years old. Technically, Vi is from Eberron, but she is a planeswalker, so now she's in the Forgotten Realms. She is a support gold and speed champion. So this is a speed event, folks, because all 3 champions have a speed effect. All of them. Vi joins us from Acquisitions Incorporated. She is Jeremy Crawford's character in the live shows. Jeremy Crawford is the new DM. So let's see. Bam. We can't talk about Vi's... hold on. Okay, sorry, buddy. Here, you go over here for a minute. And let's see if we can let things build up. Vi does not consider 1 enemy a threat, or 2, or 3, or 4, or even 5. You have to have more than 5 enemies on the screen for Vi to start shooting things. So here we go. Pistol. Vi shoots the closest enemy with her pistol. Now she's going to start trying to take everything out over here. First ability is a good example. Neutral, so on the good-evil axis. So if we look up here under alignment, what we're talking about is over here where it says good, or it might say evil, or it might say neutral. What they're looking for is neutral over here, not neutral on the left, because that's the lawful chaotic alignment. So, neutral champions' damage is increased by 100% for each good champion adjacent to the neutral champion, stacking multiplicatively. So basically, you want good champions around the neutral DPS, and that's how Vi gives you a buff. Okay, we'll take care of this. We'll put our baby, put our little baby, the baby. Ricochet, the crocodile hatchling familiar, who is floating in a... he's so cute. I can't talk. Okay, I can't look at him because I'm just going to stare at Ricochet. It's a newer familiar, folks. Catch and release. Catch and release, another of Vi's abilities. Instead of a base attack with her pistol, There's a 10% chance Vi takes out her comically oversized blunderbuss and fires at a random normal enemy. Notice this says normal enemies, so not bosses. That also means no, like, armored enemies, is my understanding. This instantaneously transforms the enemy... Oh, and no segmented health enemies. This instantaneously transforms the enemy into a small glowing crystal sphere that is worth an additional % of gold when defeated. So this is her gold ability. Now, again, it's a 1 in 10 chance to fire off, and Vi can only take a shot if she's not on a smoke break. So, you know, this is only when you're getting closer to your wall. This is not going to happen early on. I'm too old for this. Vi gains sass. If there are only 5 or fewer enemies on the screen, Vi waits impatiently instead of her base attack, and the delay between monsters spawning in a wave is reduced depending on her sass amount for the duration of her base attack cooldown. What does all this mean? What does all this mean? It means this is a speed effect. So this is a delay between monsters spawning in a wave. So this is the amount of time it takes for, like, there was a wave and then there's a new wave. It speeds up, it reduces that amount of time in between those waves as long as her sass is active. And how do you know if her sass is active? Well, she's on a smoke break. So when she's on a smoke break, her speed effect kicks in. That's what you need to know. I already chose her specialization, so we will use this potion of specialization and reset it so I can do it again for you. Voy has Voy. That's going to be another champion now. Vi has 2 different specialization choices. So this is her first set of choices. Bless their hearts. Evil champions also benefit from a good example damage increase. So if you're using an evil DPS, you have to go bless their hearts. Her debt to repay. Warforged champions also receive a good example's damage increase. Both good and Warforged champions are counted when buffing adjacent neutral on the good and evil axis, and Warforged champions. There's currently no reason I can think of to use this one. But maybe this is a foreshadowing of champions to come in the future. A nudge in the right direction increases the effect of a good example by 100%. This is the default one you're using. As long as you're using, as long as you're not using an evil champion as a DPS, then you're going to want to go a nudge in the right direction. Her specialization choice. I saw somebody, I'm going to address this right now. I saw somebody say Warden DPS. Doesn't matter because Warden's evil. So you would just go with the left one. Why would you do the Warforged one? Anyway. Choose an upgrade path for Vi for the second time. That doesn't belong here. Vi's chance of using catch and release is increased by 100%. So this means you go from 10% to 20%. If you want more gold closer to your wall, and potentially if they adjust her so that you can use her with Azaka, then you do that. Doesn't belong here. Otherwise, you use for sake, where Vi's sass is increased by 100%. This speeds her up, right? So more gold or more speed. Those are your 2 choices. We're going to go, that doesn't belong here. Because eventually I would like, we should progress. Eventually I would like to see, I would like to show you what the crystal sphere looks like. So we're going to have to level her up to make that happen. Okay. Arcane Cannon is the ultimate. We'll fire that off here in a bit. That doesn't belong here. Vi's use. That's the specialization we chose, so that doubled catch and release. That's it. All right. Vi has a lot going on here. Damage all champions item. Then she gets a good example item, a catch and release item. So this is the gold find boost item. So slot 3 is gold find. That's a good target for you for an epic. Slot 4 is I'm too old for this, which is her speed effect. So this is a speed item. So slot 3 and slot 4 are the ones you're going for here. And then she gets her ultimate stuff. Feat-wise, damage all champions, gold find. Then she gets good example, catch and release, and I'm too old for this. So you get everything that you want. All spread out. She has a lot of feats. Arcane Cannon. Let's talk about Arcane Cannon. The first time the ultimate button is hit, a metal cockatrice appears next to Vi and starts dealing ultimate damage to the closest enemy every second for 30 seconds. So this is a constant damage effect. The second time the ultimate button is hit, the cockatrice flies to the middle of a swarm of enemies and explodes, dealing 1,000% ultimate damage to all enemies in an area attack. So you're doing ultimate damage, but then you're doing 1,000% if you use it again as a big boost. So she has a very manual ultimate. Let's put this back over here and let's show how it gets used. Really? Why you gotta do me like that? Okay. Here comes the cockatrice. I thought I hit it. Did it not? There we go. Swoops in, and it's just firing from its beak. And you see it's got a little timer. It's got a nice little visual timer. It's nice when they give us visual UI effects that are actually visible and functional. So we can watch it tick down. And before, it's going to keep firing, But before it ticks out, we want to hit this again. This is going to fly out and it's going to explode, right? So here we go. Boom. Blows up. And then the cooldown starts. Very long cooldown, normally. Now, there is that one variant where as long as you fire off the explosion in the last 5 seconds, you get it back immediately. That's because that's how they want you to kill things in that variant, right? That's how they want you to kill things in that variant. Let's throw some... Yeah, let's do this. This doesn't make any sense. There, that makes more sense. So that is Vi. That is Vi's ultimate. Let us talk about the achievements for each of these event champions. Now, when you come over here to the event champion list, it's going to show Birdsong and it's going to show Palton. They originally arrived with Grand Revel, but they are not Grand Revel champions anymore. They are Time Gate champions, so if you want those two champions, you have to go get them in a Time Gate. You don't need to do that right now. That can be at any point in the future. No rush. Now, if we go down, Havilar's specific champion achievement is Feeling Impish. Have Havilar sacrifice 3 different imps within 50 seconds. So the easiest way to do this is to pick that left spec. Pick the left spec and just spam that ultimate button, right? Havilar's Whole Human, complete 100 areas with each of Zrang, Klebe, and Yas's as the top kobold in a single adventure. This means you need to be able to clear at least level 300. At least level 300, and you've got to swap them out every 100 levels. So you need to be able to go further. I would say just be able to go to like a little bit further than 300. Swap them out, giving yourself a little leeway. If you can't do that yet, it's okay. That achievement's not going anywhere. You can get it when you can. Vi's is my work here is done. I have Vi's. I'm too old for this. Continuously active for 100 areas in a row, while a champion is buffed by 6 other champions with a good example. So you're basically building a formation where your neutral champion, like your neutral DPS, is in the middle, and you've got 6 champions around them that are good. Sword Coast is a great place for this. And then you just need that speed effect to be constant for 100 areas. I did it. I don't even know. It was broken for a while, and then when it came back, it gave me credit. So I don't even know if I did it. But it's not a super difficult. You just have to build the right formation and be able to kill quickly for 100 areas. So there can't be more than 5 enemies on the screen from area 1 to area 100. Well, if you get all of this out on area 1. Just keep that in mind. Now, for these, all the rest of these, like these champion ones down here, recruit Vi, get her, complete all her variants, get her gear, etc. You can do these during the event, but, and you could do these numbered ones in the event, but the rest of those, all but these numbered ones, you can actually do outside of the event as well. You can do them in time gates, but these numbered ones you cannot. These numbered ones specifically have to be done in this event. So keep in mind that all of these, if you want to get all of these done, you have to get to area 275 in a free play. Can't be a base adventure, can't be a variant, has to be a free play during this event to get these 5 achievements. But all of the others, all of these about getting gear or doing the variants, these can be done in time gates. The gear can be obtained out of Electrum chests, etc., etc., etc. Anything else? Anything else? Vi arrived with a DLC theme pack. You get this cool outfit. You get a free familiar. You get 16 gold chests for Vi. I feel like there's probably a couple shinies in there. Don't quote me on that, though. Ask Sean and Taylor first. Increased gold find potion and this feat, for a good example, 80%. It's on sale right now. $20. And that's it, folks. We're going to take a short break so I can drink some water. Pop another cough drop in so I don't cough in the second half. We'll come back. Wow. I almost said Sean. Trevor has been grabbing questions. I'm sorry, Trevor. Trevor has been grabbing questions. We already have a dozen or so, and I will answer all those when we come back. Bye, everybody.
You know him from his eye patch and his ostentatious hat. His wardrobe is in purple and he moves sly like a cat. Never-ending daggers and the charisma to match. His bracelets sometimes jangle and his boots make quite the noise. A wand that sticks you in your tracks is one of many toys. There's seemingly no end to all the tricks that he employs. He's the secret Lord Alaskan. In your side is totally thrusting. You better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. He's the king of misdirection. He's a proud iconoclast. He's a grand manipulator and his resources are vast. He's a mercenary captain with his foe tied to the mast. He's the master of disaster from Menzo Baron's land. Pulls on threads of intrigue better than a crown matron. Says he's just a businessman, but that's his biggest con. He's the secret Lord Alaskan. In your side is probably thrusting. You better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. His name is John Expire. Chaos puppeteer at play. Takes what he wants, then fades away. He's the secret Lord Alaskan. In your side, you start with thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. He's the secret Lord Alaskan. In your side is perfect thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him.
We're back. We're back. I wanted to listen to that song, but for whatever reason, OBS is not showing up in my sound options, which is why I hear nothing from it. Curse you. I will listen to it later. I'm going to dive into questions. I'm going to tackle questions that are on topic, which means that are about the event and its champions, or just events in general. Foolish Genius 89. About how fast does it become better to go from Mad Wizard to Curse Farmer? My Human is at 4-12%. I don't actually know what the percentage is off the top of my head. I feel like if it's like if you're at like 3 kills, maybe like 2 or 3 kills. But yeah, somebody in the Discord might know that exact percent number. That's not something I have in my head. I don't normally track all the percentages and breakpoints for champions like that. But I can tell you once you're at so maybe like a 3 kill. Once you're at a 2 kill Human and you're at a 2.5 skip Briv, so like guaranteed 2 skip with 25 to 50% chance to skip 3, then you're gonna even stop. Then you definitely don't want to be in Mad Wizard anymore. You want to go somewhere else, and you want to do automated Briv farming. Sim Carlitz, I'm new here. Welcome. What if I start a mission and I'm still around level 75 when the event ends? Should I keep going or finish the mission? If you can finish it, finish it. But here's the thing: like I said, if you don't have enough favor to do the variant, you're not gonna, no matter how long you spend in it, you're probably not gonna be able to finish it. But if you're just like, can I finish my run? Sure. With events, it doesn't end right away. With a time gate, when it ends, and it kicks you out. But in an event, you can. People have turned off their client for an event during an event while they're in an event run, and then taken a break from the game for a while, and then come back and they were still in the event run. Yeah, you could do whatever you need there. Infinite Monkeys. Oh, that's a terrible thought. Slot 12 race. Do you think Melf or Vi is the better speed champion? It's hard to say because Vi's brand new, so I don't know if anybody's done the numbers yet. I haven't. I just geared her up yesterday, and my Melf has a lot better gear, so it's hard to say. It is a different Melf rotates through events or through speed effects, and he has 3 different ones. So sometimes your Melf, depending on your other speed champions, sometimes your Melf maybe isn't really contributing anything at all. Right? Like if you already have a 1 kill Human setup, when Melf gives you extra credit, it doesn't matter. And that would mean that the spawning extra enemies doesn't matter. And then if you've already got Deacon and Whittle in, and Whittle has a super high item level, Melf's probably not contributing a lot to the spawn speed. So in that case, Vi then becomes better. So it's really, it just depends. As far as it's my understanding that based off what they're talking about, that Vi doesn't have a cap. But Vi's is a very new and unique speed effect, so we're still learning exactly what it does. 919, how much favor does it take to make sure it's safer to play variants, even if it shows as easy? Usually E10. If you get above E10, if you get to E10 or above, you can generally do all but maybe a couple variants, and I mean all but a couple variants ever. Event variants ever. There are only a couple event variants amongst all 17 events that might need more than E10 favor. J-Dog, it isn't that Melf doesn't matter. It's just that it depends on your setup and your gear. So the issues is that CNE doesn't put caps on the speed champions provide, which means if you go all in on a champion, even if there's 3 champions that offer the same effect, if there's one that offers it and has an item and you level that item all the way up, effectively the other champions don't matter anymore. It's just an odd situation they've placed themselves in. So it's not that they don't matter, it just depends on where your specific situation. Kevin, is Vi's speed effect the same as Deacon's? No. Let's pop Deacon out. Or I can just come over here. Where's the confidence in the boss? When Deacon has fewer than 6 stacks of Story of the Doom, the speed of enemies spawning is increased. What is the speed of enemies spawning? It's the speed. It's the amount of time it takes them to go from this point where they're popping onto the screen here to this point where I can click on them and they die. Because I'm clicking on the screen, but there's this little window of space over here on the right hand side, where where they are invulnerable, and it races them through that invulnerable space. So it gets them to the point where you kill them faster. That's what Deacon's speed effect does. That's what Whittle's speed effect does. That's one of Melf's speed effects. But Vi's is the delay between monsters spawning in a wave is reduced. So that is, well, we can't see it at the moment, but that is the time it takes. Like there was a wave that spawned, and the time it takes for the next wave to spawn, it's reducing that time. It's reducing that time. So it is a different, it's a completely different and new and unique speed effect. Is Havilar better than Tyrell in terms of support? That's highly subjective to the account. It's going to be gear dependent. It's going to be item level dependent. And again, Havilar better against fiends. Then is really shines against fiends, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's always going to be better against fiends. Okay, I think we're going for just adorable familiars. Hold on, we got to get this set up. We got to get this set up. I need stuff getting picked up right away because I can't handle watching in the background and things aren't getting picked up right away. There's Zuni. Yeah, we got to have the little puppers. We have the puppers. There we go. All right. Doing it for Human and non-binary champions. They get the benefit of patron perks that apply to male or female gender. No, because they're non-binary. It would have to say non-binary / male or non-binary / female. If it says that, then yes. But if it doesn't, then no. Non-binary means not male or female. It's literally where that term comes from. Does Jarlaxle's Master Tuner work well with Vi's good example? Hold on. Speaking of the Secret Lord of Luskan. Every single manage to draw for each epic item equipped by other champions. That doesn't really have anything to do with each other. Doesn't really have anything to do with each other. This is an item-based thing. Master Tuner is item-based. It has nothing to do with a good example. Nothing to do with a good example. Idiot Control. Does Havilar's Battle Master affect click damage? No. No. Increase every time she attacks, she increases the damage of all champions. The damage of all champions. So she is buffing the champions in the formation. She is not causing enemies to take more damage. I know people might think that's the same thing, but in this game and in reality, it's not. Because if you cause an enemy to take more damage, they take more damage from all sources. Whereas if you buff champions, you just make champions do more damage. They make champions do more damage. I think they meant Master of Disguise? Oh, increases the damage of Jarlaxle by 100% for each good or neutral champion next to them. I mean, sure. But, yeah, sure. But I don't think... Yeah, sure. I mean, those work together. Not Master Tuner, though. So if you're still using Jarlaxle as your DPS, then Jarlaxle and Vi, as long as Vi is in the spec that buffs evil, that would be fine. That would be fine. Okay, that one's done. What's the difference between Vi and Deacon speed effect? I think we just talked about that. Deacon speeds up the rate at which the enemies get to the point where you can kill them. And Vi is speeding up the delay between things. Just to mention again, Human is flagged both male and female. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. So, okay, let me go back to this question. For Human and non-binary champions, so Human is male, female. That's 2 males and a female. That's the gender of the kobold, identity of the kobolds that are wearing the trench coat. But the human that they are portraying uses they, them pronouns. But because they flag for male, female, they're going to work in male, female stuff. However, if we come over and we look at Warden is non-binary and wouldn't qualify for male, female, anything. Maniac Clown, I haven't yet gotten Human's Epic for slot 4 or 6. I keep getting bad luck on free plays with silver chests, so I really need to go hard on getting their gold chests. At the same time, I'm still trying to get more familiars. Should I dump all of my gems into gold chests for bounty contracts to get enough for an extra run or two, or just keep working buying toward buying the closet? I honestly would go all in on Human. Folks, if you're wondering, should I use all my bounty contracts this event and get gear for Human? Yes. The answer is yes. Go all in on Human. Why? Because Human makes you go faster. Human makes you go faster, and specifically in your gem farming. And that's going to earn you, so when you're gem farming and just trying to complete adventures, you're going to earn gems faster, which means you're going to buy those gold chests faster, which you're going to or you're going to save up gems for familiars faster. Basically, Human makes things far more efficient and helps you earn far more gems. Far more. I spent like 500,000 gems yesterday on stream. I was down to like 350. I'm already up to 430,000 again. Human's gonna, just go all in on Human. Go all in on Human. The OG Elephant on Human is the total bonus percent shown under carefully balanced. The total buff for his rank speed buffer is the total modifier that's then applied to the teamwork. It's the total modifier is my understanding. So like if I'm looking at carefully balanced ability, it's buffed by 3,000%, but that's just the ability, right? So the ability then is up to 441%. This is the modifier that then gets multiplied against Zerang's teamwork per adjacent champion. So if I come over here, I have 2 adjacent champions, so my actual modifier is 883.2, which makes my actual bonus 491.6, right? If I change this, this goes down. Now I'm at 270.8, right? Because now I'm only getting 1 adjacent. So lots of modifiers. If I were to throw out, let's throw out some more. Boom. Now I'm at 933, which means I'm getting credit for 9 extra kills every time I kill 1, which means basically I'm getting 10 kills at a time. If I had, you know what? Hold on. Let's do this the right way. If I have a Sentry out as well, on a regular level, my goal is going to be 17, which means I'm at a 2 kill. Oh, it didn't count because we just got her out. But if I actually add my carefully balanced over here and modify it further, now I'm at 1640, which means I am at a 1 kill clear for levels. We'll leave it like that. So yeah, you're modifying over and over and over again. Then the number you're looking for is this number under Zerang. Enemies have a whatever chance to drop the quest. So this is, if it's less than 100%, you're basically have a chance to get 1. But once it's over 100%, that 100% counts as an extra. So 1 kill plus 1. Now I'm at 1640. Now I'm killing 1 thing. I'm getting credit for 16 more. So 17 kills at once. 17 enemies are needed to clear a level. I'm 1 kill clearing levels. 1 kill clearing levels. Maniac Clown says, well, I'm not even done. I'm sitting at 94,000 event tokens. I did over 200,000 this event, so you're good. You can burn them all. You can burn them all. Vavkas. Oof. Vavkas, your question doesn't currently... Well, okay, hold on. Let me read this all out, and then we'll break this down. Azaka farming with Vi. 1. Need a hit-based boss? No. I don't understand where that comes from, but no. 2. Sphere all 10 mobs with Vi while the boss dies? I don't know where you're going with this. I mean, this is a thing. 3. Put 10 pilfer on every sphere. 4. Kill 9 spheres and pray for 40 stacks. 5. Repeat. You're making it... You're restricting yourself way more than this. I don't know what this... Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with this. You can just... It functions just like Jim used to. It functions just like Jim used to. So in the old days, you would put Jim in, and his Wonder had a chance to turn an enemy, a regular mob, into a mimic. And usually you tried to do that at the start of a level, right when they were coming out, or you'd restart the level and you'd try to get that trigger right away. So then you're building up pilfer stacks on everything, and then you take a shot, you blow everything up, and you hope it all transfers over to the mimic. Well, this functions the same way. You put Jim removes scroll stacks. That was Vavkas. So does Vi. I'm describing how we used to do things. That's why you wanted to do it at the beginning of the level. You want to do it at the beginning of the level, so right away, so that you can then build up all of those scroll stacks on everything. You want the same thing with a crystal sphere, but you only need one. I don't know why there was you wanted all of them. You just need one crystal sphere, and hopefully it drops over here on the right half of the screen. Hopefully it drops over here, because that separates it from all the other enemies that you want walking up to you. And then once you build up all of your pilfer stacks, which are on everything, because Kroll attacks randomly, then you can try to just blow up the close things, and pilfer stack or plague stacks will transfer all the way across the screen over to the crystal sphere. Now, so this is a good way. Potentially, it's going to take some work, because you're only getting, if you switch catch and release over to, you'll have like what, a 20% chance. It's either a 10 or 20% chance that you're going to have to fire off her blunderbuss and turn something into a crystal sphere, and hopefully it's early enough that it drops on that side of the screen. That's what you're looking at with this. Now the problem is right now that does give you a nice scenario where you're separating out an enemy, like you're separating out the crystal sphere from the rest of your party, which is usually, separation is usually what we've had a lot of problems with. This does create a separation scenario. So it could be worth your time if you're having trouble getting one enemy separated from everybody else. However, presently, that catch and release bonus from like the gold find bonus doesn't stick around when you pull Vi out and swap Azaka in. The sphere does, though. So it's still useful for separating an enemy and stacking plague stacks on. It's just right now we don't get the gold find bonus. And as CNE has heard our feedback, hopefully they change that. But yeah, any faster ways? I mean, well, I wouldn't do it that way at all. I would just try to separate out an enemy on the right side of the screen with one sphere, and then you're done. And then you pull Vi out, and you stack up plague stacks, and you blow everything up. You said farm event gear. I'm still new. Is there a way to farm gear in this game? Well, for events, in general, yes. There are different ways. But for events specifically, what we're talking about is if you do a free play in the event, like this, they cost you firements. When you complete Area 50, so you just have to beat the boss in Area 50, let it start to the transition to Area 51. Then you can restart. You can complete that run, and you will get a random chest, either silver or gold. That is how you farm gear. You just go to you complete 50 and you do it again. You come up here, you click complete. Like, see, I've done it. I can restart this. I can get a new random chest. That's how you get gear in an event for champions. Let me see anything else. When you're spending Joan of Arc, when you're spending bounty contracts in an event, is the contacts should they be spent towards the end of a push at the highest level you can reach? Is there a better time to use them? Usually, if you care about the gold that comes off of them, then you want to do at the highest level. But that really only matters on like your first or second run. After that, the gold you get isn't really, comparatively, it isn't as much. It's best on its first run. So if you're past your first run, you can pop them anywhere. You can pop them anywhere. All right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to answer all the stuff that wasn't very specific to this scenario, to this event. Lediath, besides the last variant in Tomb of Annihilation, are there any others that give Modron chests? No, not yet. That is the last variant, literally, in Tomb of Annihilation. It's the capstone variant. That campaign gets no more adventures, no more variants, no more content. So that was your reward for completely finishing that campaign. I'm still waiting for the achievement, Tomb Annihilated. CNE. Why are you leaving me hanging? But yeah, I think they should have given you an achievement for finishing that along with that. And I mean, the name writes itself. Tomb Annihilated. Come on. Kosis, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I bought the Strong Core. I'm sure when it'll reach level 15, I will be able to get full epic flow on every output with the pieces I have now. Should I stop buying Modron chests and start buying Patron chests instead? You can stop buying Modron chests if you truly think you can. If you truly think, you said you've used the Modron simulator, so if you know that you can fully epic it, then yes, you can stop buying Modron chests. Should you start buying Patron chests is a whole other question, though, and it needs other information. There is no limit to the number of Patron chests you can buy any week, so I would say no. I would say just pause and hold on to your currency, let your currency stack up. Still pick up your time gate piece if you still need to get champions, or you're still working to gear out all your champions. But what you need to figure out before buying and opening Patron chests, ideally you want your core and evergreen champions to be fully epicked from regular gold chests. You may have already done this, but I just want to make sure that you stop and check that point, so that, because you don't want any of those patron chests giving you an epic for a core or evergreen champion when you could have just got that epic with gems. So that's the thing you need to think about there. But then, yeah, if you're fine there, you're full. Okay, so you're full epic on core and evergreen. So then, yeah, you can start buying patron chests. What I would say is you want to consider the fact that you can add and remove champions from certain patron chests based on the stat feats that add them, that can get them to qualify for those champions, and in that way you can manipulate the pools of gear. So break down who you need epics on, like write it out, like the names in based off which patrons they qualify for, and then see if you can start like targeting a single pool and getting figure out which one has the champions that you really want that gear on, and then target that first, and then you can break it down. It'll go a lot faster, and then you mix that with time gates specifically on some champions, and that way you can get to fully epic on all your champions, like I am. Ryguy Sandman, are there any other champions like Zorbu, Torgar, and Morgaine who have abilities that persist between resets? Once I figured out how to use Zorbu, it was a handy feature. I'd like to know if there were others. Black Viper is one. Morgaine, I see that you put Morgaine in there, and Morgaine doesn't function the same way, but I get where you're trying to go there. But Zorbu, Torgar, and Black Viper are the big ones, but honestly, Zorbu is really the most effective. He's the one that does that the most. Dhani was recently added. She functions more like Torgar. But potentially they added another feature to continuously stack above that. But she's got some real high number goals. Real high number goals for kills. So no one functions quite like Zorbu. Zorbu's the broken one when it comes to those permanent stacks. Black Viper is the underpowered one, and then Torgar and Dhani are kind of... Torgar's okay. Dhani, people are still, I don't know, either still farming up stacks or just haven't decided what to do yet. Morgaine is about the gold earned, though, and that isn't about killing lots of things, as ironically as that might sound. Morgaine you just put in when you're Azaka farming at a higher level than you normally are, and she gets plenty from that. Fishy, how do you fasten up your game? I think that means speed up my game. Potions are how I was doing it earlier. There are speed champions, and there's also a speed core. So there are lots of ways you can speed up the game and how it looks. Darius the Mayor, when is it more profitable farm Curse Farmer over Mad Wizard? Oh, I think we kind of... Yeah. We kind of talked about that when we were talking about Human. I mean, it's really about... It's kind of a combination of your Human and Briv capabilities as to when you leave Mad Wizard. Because eventually you're not going to want to deal with... I feel like it's if you can get like a 2-kill Human. Maybe 2 or 3, then you don't want to be anywhere where there's barricades. So then you'd leave. Somewhere around there. Wiggly Jones, is gem farming something you can do while still very early into playing the game? If you want. Like, now you're picking up Human, and Human's a very snowbally speed champion. Meaning you go farm gems, you buy gold chests, you open those gold chests, you get blacksmithing contracts, you put them all on Human, and he makes you, and then you go back to farming more gems, and he does it faster, and he just gets faster and faster and faster, and you can basically get tons and tons of gems early on, and go very, very fast. But then you still have to go play the rest of the game. So it depends on if you kind of want to. So it's kind of something you can do if you're going to go AFK and you have a Modron core. You need a Modron core. Okay, there's the first thing. You need to get a Modron core, so you need to finish split the party because you need to be able to automate the gem farming runs. So once you've gotten to the point where you have a Modron core and you can automate your gem farming runs, then sure, you can do that quite a bit. But just keep in mind that's, usually it's something you're doing when you're not pushing, but if you want to go all in on it early, you could, technically. Jibin, do the inexpensive blessings work just in their area? So the local blessings, like extra training and Torm's Favor, do they work in all areas? So the ones that are over here on the left, which are the inexpensive ones, these are referred to as local blessings. This is the global because it says applies to all campaigns, or it'll say... oh no, now it's been changed to applies to all campaigns. It used to say across all campaigns, but they changed the wording. All right, that works better. So yeah, these ones are only when you are in the Sword Coast, and these ones on the right side, if your UI displays them this way, are the ones that are everywhere. Everywhere. If your UI displays them all in a column and puts double damage down here, the first 3 are the local. The first 3 are the local. Foolish Genius, purely in-game mechanics, is there a difference between both genders non-binary and neither gender non-binary? I mean, there are different buffs that are available based off whether, like some places there's buffs for male champions, some places there's buff for female champions. Sometimes there's tags, like Ashaka has tags that'll say male non-binary, or female non-binary, or / non-binary. So you have to qualify for those buffs. It's just another way you're qualifying for different buffs or not being qualified for different buffs. So just like having a speed tag, it's just a different thing they've hooked some power up to. Gakonis, most of my builds early on seem to revolve around Jarlaxle. Yeah, How can I move to another DPS to focus on, and who should it be? The next one should either be Ashara or Hitch. You get Hitch by going over here and signing up for the newsletter. He says support on his role, but he's actually super secret DPS. But Ashara or Hitch. Ashara or Hitch usually is where you move to. My formations that I put in my guides are for new players, and they start off with Jarlaxle, and then they show a switch, and then they show you a formation for Ashara after that. Nazgul, I was once told that distance matters if pilfer stacks transfer. That's not correct. That's not correct. Plague stacks, plagues will transfer an entire... They will transfer from the far left of the screen, right in front of the enemies, all the way to something that just spawned in, and you can watch them slide across the screen to the new target. Strange World's newer player here. Welcome, second event. All right. Jarlaxle and Russ give me a rather high gold find this weekend. Where should I farm favor? In the event. In the event. You have an E11, that's great, but if you can keep going, keep going. Once you get to the point where you're not earning EO1, if you want to keep going as long as you're earning at least EO1 per run as a newer player, or per 2 runs. If it's taking more than that, stop. Stop and then go farm, in the regular campaign, and of course get all your chests, right? Black Glass, is there a golden epic for Human for the rainbow eggs? Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. Onyx Squared, Gar, would you please go over how Havilar freezes people in place? It's about the ultimate. I don't always have a consistent experience with that, and I think it's because I missed something. I've been assuming you need the first spec to maximize that. The first spec, the Speedy Sacrifice, makes it easier because it lets you spam the ultimate, and that's what you need to do. You just need to do the ultimate over and over and over again. If you're in the right spec, you can still do it. It's just going to take a little while longer. But every time you apply Havilar's ultimate to an enemy, it applies a slow effect, and that slow effect stacks with itself. So it can take a while. But eventually you will hit the enemy with enough of those ultimates that it just stops moving, that it just functionally stops moving on the screen. Folks, let's not bring the real world into relation with Kroll, please. The Mole's Revenge. I have the requirements to unlock Strahd as a patron, but I have not unlocked Vajra. Should I unlock Strahd now? Sure. Or wait until I've got Vajra? Nah, just do it. Just go for it. As soon as you can unlock a patron, unlock the patron. Because here's the thing. Patrons give you stuff you want, or let you buy stuff you want. You're going to want to go over and earn enough influence to unlock those time gate pieces right away. And buy them time gate pieces every week. You're also going to want to, if you can, try to unlock your Modron component chest and buy those every week. But the main thing at first is grab those time gate pieces. Every patron offers you 1 time gate piece. So once you unlock all 4 time gate pieces, or all 4 patrons, you're buying 4 time gate pieces a week, and 1 is dropping or 2 is dropping if you have is it up? Where is it now? One of these has, jeez. Why I can never memorize these. Is it Helm? No. Tomb of Annihilation. If you get everything in Tomb of Annihilation, you get +1 time gate pieces dropped. They added that way late, so I've totally forgotten where it is. So yeah, if you can get that last global in Tomb of Annihilation, that means you get 6 time gate pieces a week, and you can do a time gate every week. Oh, Hunt a Hero. My Human and Briv are good for levels. What champion should I concentrate Blacksmith contracts on? Like in general? What I will say is the 2 most efficient champions for item levels in the game, probably Artemis and Krond, but they're both DPS. So if you haven't jacked up Avrin, if you're looking for support, Avrin's super efficient with his item levels as well. Because mirror image applies multiple times, but if you're looking to have some extra DPS options, Artemis and Krond, would be happy to consume those item levels. No muscles. Do I need to get all of Human to Epic before using the blacksmithing contracts? Technically, no. Technically, no. However, I would say you probably at least want to get an Epic on the slot 6. Because the slot 6 can cap. You want to make sure it's capped with the Epic. Just to maximize the effect. If you can get an Epic shiny here, it's ideal. Because you can see mine's capped at 266. Which means I saved myself like about 250 item levels that went to all of these others. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of better if you can get this slot 6 Epic, but at the end of the day, do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. If you just have bad luck and you can't really get it, go do your thing. I think we caught up on the questions. So, I don't know, we're just going to end early. No, that's not a thing I do. If you have any more questions, throw them in real quick. Let me move this back to just our event champion friendos. There we go. On a level where they can just sit around and do nothing. So again, if you're out here, kind of the order of operations for getting gear on things, Human's probably your top priority for gear. If you wanted to focus all in on one champion, but just make sure you're unlocking all three and you're doing their variants. Remember, right now, if you're watching this live, right now it's a gold to plenty weekend. So that means at least out of these, at least Jarlaxle will be giving you triple gold find through Master of Piracy. So this is a great weekend to farm favor for the event, whether you're a new player or a veteran. Now's the time to rack up that gold. I'm going to be doing that after we're done here. I'm going to be gold farming not only in this event. I'm going to be gold farming all weekend in all of my campaigns, because Jarlaxle triple bonus along with Crawl double triple, along with the triple on one gold piece is just, I can't not do that. That Crawl double triple is just, even if that was all that was going on this weekend, it would be a gold farming weekend for me. We got some more questions coming in. Any reason to gold farm event free plays? Yes. The more favor you have, the bigger the multiplier when the event ends. So if you have 100%, if you have an E10 favor, that's 100% multiplier because it's 10% per E01. So I'm currently like E32. That would be a 320% multiplier against a campaign. So basically like a 4.2x, whatever I had there currently. But I can get that up into the E50s, so I'm going to do that. But, you know, once you're to the point where you're not, like I said, once you're to the point where you're not earning like EO1 every run or every 2 runs, like if it's every 2 runs, you know, you're basically done. But if you're not earning EO1 every run, then you're done. You're done farming favor in your free plays, as long as you're past EO8. J-Dog, what's happening on your channel later today? If you want to hang out with me later today, and by later, I mean an hour after this ends, I'm going to take like an hour-long lunch. And then I'll be streaming on my channel. We'll be playing some of the Vidya games. It won't be Idle Champions, but we have some fun over there. Come join us. Zadmer, when would be a good time to do Mount Tiamat stuff? Constantly. As soon as you can, yes. After doing most all Patron things, sure. After having all epics, something else, yes. The second you qualify for Trials of Mount Tiamat, start doing Trials of Mount Tiamat. Start doing Trials of Mount Tiamat, and then do it every time it's back. That's the end game gear grind. I have a 1 day, 21 hours to my next campaign. We already beat Tiamat this week. Small Fox Bear, what are the notches I can tune to squeeze out that extra bit of damage for when I wall a variant 20 zones before my target? Wow, 20 is a lot. Just going to say that. The only way you're going to get 20, I can't really, potions won't necessarily get you 20.
But you want to look for, like, can you build a better formation? Whenever you hit a wall, you want to start messing with your formation and see if you can find a way to push further. That's the time you tweak your formation, not when you're first setting it up. And you definitely don't want to be looking at base DPS. You want to be looking at the area you're on and your bud. And your bud. Bud's your buddy. Use the buddy system. Nellis Jews, would you recommend getting 100% activation on Echo for Sentry before investing in Human? I like it, but I wouldn't recommend it first. Because if you do Human stuff first, it's going to speed you up a lot for less of an investment, and then you can always do Sentry after you get Human, down, getting you, triple or quadruple credits. Then you can stack Sentry. I like having that combination of both. It means I didn't have to push my Human as far. But yeah, it's up to you. Up to you. Plus, I like being able to use Sentry in places for speed when the Human isn't available. Shevik, help Overwhelm beat Mad God last night after opening Zero Patron. Shall I go for trials or wait until the event is over? No, start your normal trial run. Start a normal trial run, preferably with a group, but just know you can do it yourself. Ooh, hey, folks, we got a crystal sphere right here. This is what the crystal sphere looks like. Sitting back here on the ground. Flagged as a construct. It's just going to hang out there forever and ever and ever. But that's what it would look like, and that's roughly where you would want it for Azaka farming. Just out of the way. Out of the way. That's going to be it, folks. I don't remember what song I have us going out on. Man. What? Maybe? No. Oh, I remember now. In honor of them doing the skeletons on Paint and Slay yesterday, we have Dance Macabre. I will see you all an hour over on my stream. Bye, everybody.
Once I had a heart, a liver and a brain, fell on my own sword. Now this is what remains, raised up by dark magic, then my flesh was shed. Now I serve my master as animated dead. Every new adventurer is fodder once they're floored, a walking bag of bones to add to our decor. They bring us everything we need inside our worthless hides. From within their flesh, our new soldier shall arise. Welcome to the dance macabre, eternal skeletal mob, rattling our bones to necromantic tones. I'm your widest grin, I've become a skeleton. Dance macabre. I have no tongue with which to speak, no sinews guide my hand. Still I march in step to my dark master's command. I no longer love or hate, all my feelings left behind. I'll fight until I fall apart, final peace I cannot find.